o'clock on Thursday, which means it is time for a YouTube video. And let me just double check that I am actually out on the internet. I'm going to do that by waving under my own camera. Oh, there's my weirdly big hand. All right, so it looks like we're good to go. So let's get started. This is my card today. Now, I've used the Flowering Tulip stamp set. You'll see I don't have the dies out. That's because I didn't use them. I'll do a video sometime in the near future where we make some 3D flowers with this bundle. But I had a special request to see about using the stamp sets themselves, just the stamps. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I've made it into a fun fold card and borrowed a couple of sentiments from Special Moments. Y'all, seriously, hey Shelly, if you don't have this Special Moments stamp set, this is a celebration freebie with a $100 purchase right now, so only between now and the end of February. If you don't have this, do something to place an order so that you can get this with the $100 purchase. All right, it has got some of the best sentiments in it, and it's just chock-a-block. Hi Penny, appreciate you joining. So I've used this. I'm going to use this a few times between now and the end of February, so just get ready. All right, so this is, I'm going to say it's kind of a modified joy fold. It's got a card on a card, so we have a little tiny card here on the front, and you can see this is where I got the sentiment from Special Moments for the front of the little card. And then on the inside, I've got another Special Moments sentiment, and then it opens up like so, and I have some more tulips from Flowering Tulips and a Flowering Tulip sentiment. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Vicky. Hello, Faith. Appreciate you joining. All right, so let's go ahead and start, and you can see, obviously, I have the really, truly gorgeous Flowering Fields DSP. Interestingly, this DSP right here, I'm using both the front and the back, or the front and the back, depending on how you look at it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All righty, set this aside. So all of the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow. Hi, Jenna Marie, appreciate you joining, and Lenny, and Barbara, and Gina, appreciate it. So all the measurements will be tomorrow, but not to worry, I will give them to you today. So we're going to make 2 cards here, basically, and then we're going to adhere them together. So I have a large card. Both card bases are Early Espresso. And this large card, the base is 5.5 by 10 1/8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in my scoreboard with the long end across the top. And, oh, hi, everybody. Appreciate you joining. Doing good. Thank you, Debbie. And let's see. I'm going to score at 4 1/8 and again at 8 3/8. Okay, so that's all we need to do on the scoreboard for the large card. Our small card is 3 1/4 by 7, and I'm going to divide it in half at 3 1/2. See, that's why you have to do math in school, so that you know how to divide up things like 7-inch cards. All right, so let's work on the large card first. I've got several pieces of cardstock. I've used Evening Evergreen as my mats, and like I said, I've used both sides of this Flowering Tulips DSP. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Whenever you're making a fun fold card, especially when folds need to kind of, fold together like this, do take care when you're making your folds, all right? You want them to be straight, so that means take a half a second. I frequently don't, so I'm trying to remember to be good, which means I'm going to say it. All right, so then you can see it folds together like that. So let's just go ahead and start matting up some of our DSP. And I use this real pretty tulips as I'm calling it design number 1. All right, now here's a tip. Design number 1 and design number 2 both have an up and a down. So, when you're cutting, be sure that you're paying attention to the up and the down, okay? It's kind of easy. Ask me how I know. It's a good thing I had a second set of this DSP, but it's kind of easy to screw this up and get it cattywampus like that, I promise. Okay, so I'm just going to double check that this is the front. These two mat sizes are very close to each other. The the inner liner mat is about the same. So I just want to be sure I'm not messing up, because I hate messing up when I'm on video. I hate them. I hate messing up when I'm on a video. Okay. So I'm just going to set that back like that just to be sure I'm doing it right. We'll go ahead and do the inside. And I decided to use the less flamboyant DSP as the primary, the most of it, because it's a little busy. There's no way around that. It is a little busy. So I liked it as a feature wall, an accent wall. I've been watching a lot of HGTV. You know that Dave and Jenny Mars, I would like them to come. Jenny and Dave, I know you're probably watching this video. I'm certain of it. So if you'd like to come to Atlanta and redesign my home, I would be so happy for that. You can even film a TV show here. I'm down with it. I'm good with it. I love your style and I like watching you guys. And so you are welcome to come here and take care of my home for me. Yes. All right. Oh, thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Marva. I know. Isn't this just gorgeous DSP? I love it. I love it. All righty. So, again, I'm just matting everything up. Could I have done this ahead of time and not bored you silly? Of course I could have, but what fun would that be? If I can't bore you, what other value do I have? Really? I mean, serious. I can bore you. And nope, I'm not even going to do this in post. That's what we video people call it. Not even going to, you know, speed it up in post. It's going to be real time all the way. So if you are watching and you are bored silly, you can just scrub to the right and fast forward. Because really all I'm doing is adhering DSP on the mats and putting them on their appropriate panels. I will recommend that you occasionally close your card to be sure you're still working with all the directions in the directional ways. Did that make any sense? Usually do, because I cut a few fingertips once. Oh, there you go. I know, Lori. Dave and Jenny are amazing. They are actually my favorite of the, I mean, there's a bunch of couples doing TV shows, but they are my favorite. Heck, at one point I even considered moving to Arkansas just so I could be close enough to have them remodel a house, which is like the world's worst reason to move somewhere, right? Okay, so there is our card base. And now I'm going to work on the smaller card a little. Oh, thank you, Lenny. You're biased, I think. All right. So this little card is a little card. And what we're going to do is we're going to start doing a little stamping of some tulips. Okay? And we're going to have just some basic white on evening evergreen. I'm just making sure that I stamp my tulips right side uply. Okay, so, all right, now let's talk about this stamp set a little bit. When you open the stamp set, Stampin' Up! Has grouped the pictures of the parts. You know, these are 2 or even 3-part stamps. So this stamp goes with this one with this one, and this one with this one. So what I have done is I've put each of those pairings onto an acrylic block, and you can stick them in the corner on opposite sides. You can see one is on one side and one is on the other. And I actually took a magic marker. Nope, not a magic marker, a Sharpie, and wrote a number. So this is number 3. It doesn't matter which one, but I just know that these two go together. All right. When I stamp this flower, I'm going to stamp this one first in the darker color, and then I'm going to put the lighter color over top. When you're doing 2-step stamping, I like to do the darker one first. It makes it much easier, for me at least, to stamp the lighter one and get it where I want it to go, okay? I will say these are relatively easy to get lined up, just saying. So this is the small flower. This one right here is the top flower. I call it number 1. And about the only hard part is remembering which one is number 1. For me, this is the dark one, and then this one that has the bigger spots filled in is the fill. Okay, so you can see this one right here. Can you tell that this is a gap? These are gaps. All of these are gaps. And then these are the solid parts. Okay, so this one to me is the dark one. And then this one where it's opposite, the gaps and the filled are opposite, is the fill stamp. That was like the world's worst grammar right there. Totally. All right. And then this is your final one. And this is the one that on this card, I'm going to do the main one, the image itself, I'm going to do in Calypso Coral, and then I'm going to do the fill in Petal Pink. Okay, everything else is going to be in Bumblebee, where I do the main image with Bumblebee ink and then the fill in Stamped Off Once Bumblebee. Okay, so then it becomes pretty darn straightforward, and you can make whatever kinds of pictures you want as you're putting them together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to make my Bumblebee first, and let's see, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to try to remember. Okay, so this one, and whenever you forget, which you will, you totally will, just stamp on your grid paper. So that one is number 1. This one is number 2. I'm going to stamp it off once, and then you can see, hang on, I'm going to have to stand up so that I can see without putting my large head in your way. It does actually line up pretty simply. Okay, so that's what the flower is going to look like. Don't be afraid to do test runs. That's what the grid paper's for. If you don't have grid paper, just buy it. Just buy grid paper, I'm telling you. What are the chances of there being 2 Cheryl A's? Oh my goodness. What is the name of the show? Oh, it's Fixer to Fabulous is Dave and Jenny Mars. And they're so cute because they always call each other, hey, Dave Mars. Hey, Jenny Mars. What are you doing, Jenny Mars? Hey, Jenny Mars, come in here. It's very cute. I don't know. I'm apparently smitten. Okay, so we're going to just start making some flowers. That one is in the Bumblebee. And then we'll go with Stamped Off Once Bumblebee. Oh, you can see I've already messed that up, haven't I? Good thing there's 2 sides. So let's go with Bumblebee. Pretend I never even did that first one, okay? Bumblebee, and then we're going to go Stamped Off Once Bumblebee. So Stamped Off Once Bumblebee. And I got to pull it to me, I'm sorry, guys. But you can see the outline very clearly when you do the dark one first, and then the last one, okay? And this one actually gets a center, and I am using soft suede. And it's this little tiny guy right here. There's an up and a down for sure. If you have any questions about where up and down is, you can just pre-stamp on your grid. Okay, so we'll put this in the middle of this flower like that. And so we begin. All right, now I'm also going to stamp in Bumblebee. I'm going to stamp the little flower. So I'm going to start with the bigger portion of the little flower. And we'll put him right there like that. And then stamp the fill, stamp it off once. And it just goes right in the middle like that. Okay. All right, now I can close my Bumblebee for a minute. And we'll get our Calypso Coral going here. And we're going to do what I'm calling flower number 2. And we're going to put him over here like so. And fill him with Petal Pink. Okay. And it's, you can you see how I'm lining it up? It's real easy to line up right there, just like that. Okay, so there's my 3 flowers. And then I have my stem and some soft succulent. And I also have some evening evergreen, but I'm going to be real careful with that because it's very dark. I'm just going to stamp my stem. And I'm not getting real head up. I mean, you know, this is not a heady up thing. These are tulips hanging out in the garden. Okay. And we'll do the same with the leaf. just kind of putting it wherever. And I don't have any problem turning it a little bit. There we go. And then this is a really cute little stamp right here. Can you see it? Let me show you what it does. It creates like a little bit of ground, but I'm actually using it as like a little bit of just kind of filler, like baby's breath. Okay, like so. And you can also use some evening evergreen if you like. And I'll clean that off first. So you can really do kind of whatever you want. I mean, it's a garden, it's designed, but I'm going to stamp it off once. It's kind of supposed to be kind of, you know, like that, like that. And I might do a leaf in the evening evergreen, also stamped off. You may be thinking, wow, what is the point of doing all of that, Mary? Why do evening evergreen and stamp it off? Well, because it's really dark if you don't. I'm just throwing, but it is a different color. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so there is my card front for my little card. And I have already stamped and cut out a sentiment. Okay, so this is the sentiment from Flowering Tulips. I stamped it in soft suede and cut it with the second to the smallest of the skinny dies in the rectangle stitch dies. All right, so let me close this before we have an inktastrophie. Yes. Well, we'll do a dies video down the road just a little bit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to its evening evergreen mat. And then I'll pop this on with some dimensionals. Now, you could get a lot more carried away with embellishments on this than I did, but I can tell you it's a pretty thick card. Pretty thick card already, so there's not much point. I wouldn't add a whole lot. I'm really grateful for the butterfly embellishments because they're real narrow, not narrow, thin. They aren't very thick, and so that makes it a lot easier to justify their existence on your card. All right, so here we go. We're just going to put this on like so. Just kind of making sure it's straightish, you know, straight-ish. I have trouble with straight. Anybody have trouble with straight besides me? I have trouble with straight sometimes. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to adhere it with liquid glue to the front of the card. Now, here is a tip, just so you know. This card, this little card, by rights should open like this, but on this particular fun fold, it opens like this. So if you need to, just keep going back to your card base so that you can make sure that you are adhering it as you meant to do, okay? Now, I've said that about 3 times, which means I am guaranteed to adhere something wrong. I mean, it's just, you might as well just get ready for it. All right. Now, on a second piece, same size, same color, I'm going to stamp another sentiment. And this is one of the sentiments from the Special Moments set. And let's see, I have momentarily, oh, there we go. There you go, see, Debbie? I know, straight is an overrated thing, right? Let's go with that. Straight is an overrated thing. So here we go. We're going to stamp for someone who is wonderful in each and every way. I don't know why I sang that. Alrighty. Well, it looks pretty straight. We're going to go with pretty straight. And it's art. It's art. Art can be kind of unstraight. I mean, look at some of the stuff that Van Gogh and Picasso did. Nothing was straight. Yes, I am exactly like Van Gogh and Picasso. Exactly like them. Okay, so on the inside here, I'm going to do these 2 of these little smaller ones in the bumblebee. The bumblebee, when I can find the bumblebee. Move that out the way. And I'm going to do 2 of the small ones, like so. And I'm going to put one there. And I'm going to put one there. And then I don't know why I did that, because I need the other one. Stamped off once for the innards. And stamp. And stamp. And then we'll do a couple of little soft succulent stembas. And my other little favorite doohickey. I really like the doohickey a lot. Like so. Stay over there. And here's doohickey that I was referring to. The doohickey to which I referred. Okay. Done and done. Done and done. And done and done. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Uh-oh. Almost time for a new bottle of glue. Almost time for a new bottle of glue. It has been raining all day, and it actually started last night. It's nice, though. I mean, the weather is warmish. It's really warmish. So that's good. We didn't really need any more water. We'd had plenty. Again, be sure you're putting this on the right place. When you have it open like this, it's easy to think this is the place for the inner liner because that looks just like a card. So keep coming back to what it's supposed to be, and then put it on upside down. Keep coming back to what it is supposed to be. It's much easier to fix it before you've glued it on. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so we're going to keep that for just a second. I want to make my inside of my large card. And for that, I'm going to use a sentiment from Flowering Tulips. Where did you go, sentimentes? Here we go. This says, love you so much. You could leave this blank if you wanted. This would be a great place to write a note. But I'm putting something in here because why not? I like this one. Love you so much. And we'll go as straight as we're going to get today. And then we're going to make some more flowers. Do I use my whole pad under my stamping or just a sheet? I assume you mean this right here? Is that what we're talking about, Jenna Marie? Tell me what it is that you're referring. Are you talking about my my grid paper? Not sure what the question is. What the question is. All right, so let's go ahead and make a couple of flowers. A couple of flowers here. So I'm going to make a Calypso coral flower to start with. Calypso coral with petal pink on the innards. Now, if you were very organized, which apparently I am not today, this would be a really good time to start stamping your envelope at the same time so that you could preclude opening and closing and opening and doing all of those things. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick double check that I use the correct stamp as dark. This one looks like it's dark to me. Yeah, that's the dark one. And I'm going to put it right here like this. And then we'll do the innards stamped off once. Like that. And while I have my bumblebee out, I'll go ahead and do that last flower. Okay, stamp off the middle once. There we go. All right. Not that. Correct. This is just my grid paper. Okay, but I have several sheets, so it's not like just one. If I only had one piece of the grid paper, I'd probably put my foam under it because I'm using the photopolymers. But for me, I'm just so strong, like Goliath. I'm just so strong that I can, am I frozen? I hope I'm not. I'm not seeing what's going on here. Well, am I frozen, you guys? Maybe not. Okay. Not sure what I got. I just got sidetracked there a second because I looked over at my screen and my screen is frozen. Well, maybe not. Okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop. So I'm not frozen. All right, let me put my little middle in before I forget. There we go. All right. Thanks. That's good. Thank you for letting me know that. Now we'll get some stembas going and maybe a flower or two. And I make the mistake of trying to make the stems all come together like they're in a bouquet. But in this case, they're not in a bouquet, they're in a garden. And so they're kind of going every willy and nilly. And we'll just do this little guy and maybe this little guy like so. And where's my leaf? My leaf is right here. Here we go, leaf. And we're just going to put him. And you can turn them either way you'd like so. And then I think we'll put another one with him up like that. There we go. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and assemble. And then we're gonna add some butterflies. My very favoriteest embellishment ever. And we're gonna use our liquid glue. Oh, come on now. Don't make me open a bottle in the middle of a video. Okay. I love Evening Evergreen is by far my favorite green of all time. Mossy Meadow is still a close second, but Evening Evergreen is my favorite. All right, and then this little guy goes on in the inside. And I feel pretty confident I'm right side up because my small panel is on that edge. But I am going to double check because, yes, okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. I almost put it upside down even after all of that. All right, here we go. Like so. Okay, so it's coming together. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to adhere our little card to this front panel, okay? So I have a piece that goes on the inside of this little card, okay? So I'm going to show you a little trick that I hope will work since I didn't do this before. So there's two ways to do this little piece right here. You can pre-cut it. The measurements will be in the blog. And then you can adhere it to your panel. And what that'll do is if you adhere it to the end of the panel like this, the end of the back of the card, that's going to give you kind of a guide to where you're going to adhere it. The other way you can do it is simply adhere your little card to the front panel, and then pick it up and measure this and cut a mat and a piece of DSP to fit. Okay, that is what I did on the first one. So let's try the second one, just so I can say, yes, that works too. So we're going to put that in place like so, and that tells me that my panel goes here. Otherwise, I might put it here or somewhere completely wrong. And it also tells me I want up to be like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adhere this like so. And I'm going to place it on the card base, eyeballing this distance. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that this distance here and this distance here and this distance here between the edges of the card base and the edge of the mat are roughly the same. Okay? Making sense so far? So then, see, it's a little confusing doing this way because you're like, that's not even right. But it is right because we're going to adhere like so. Okay? So then what I would do to do it this way is I would make the glue come out by flipping it around. I'd put your liquid glue like so. Close it. And then put it onto the panel like that. Okay, we're just centering up and down. And then I'm going to turn it over and just slide it a little bit like that. Okay, so now that I have done it both ways, I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was making this card, and it is going to be reflected in the directions. I would go ahead and get your little card adhered to your big card, okay? Then bring your craft ruler in and measure the distance between the edge of the large card and here, and then do your math. So in this case, I have 2 inches because I cut it to fit. I would make my mat 1 7/8 by 3 1/8, and then the DSP would be 1 3/4 by 3. Does that make sense? So you're kind of building it to fit however you end up with this being adhered. Anybody who is confused by that, please tell me now. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay? So either way will work. To be quite honest, it was actually easier doing it my first way, where I adhered this with liquid glue. I just put a little line of glue like right in here where I kind of knew it was going to be. Remember, liquid glue squishes. Okay? So in this case, use that to your advantage. Put a little bit in, set it down, give it a little press, and it's going to squish and hold it just fine. And then I came and I measured this, and I cut my center panel to fit. And I used the more vociferously vocal. Those are not even the words I wanted. I used the busier DSP pattern there. Okay, so this is what you end up with. All right. So all we have left to do here is add some butterflies. Looks easier doing it. I have a... Oh, I do. Look at that. That's probably good luck, right? Seems like it should be good luck. But I don't trust its little glue dot anymore after it's been on my hand, so we're not going to use it. Okay, now I'm going to add some butterflies are free to fly, fly away, fly away, ho, ho. Okay, who else? For who else are these your favorite embellishments ever? I could put them everywhere. I could just put them everywhere. Obviously, I could put them on my hand, it turns out. And we'll put another big one, trying to empty this little sheet so I don't have it sitting around right there. A little more upright. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to put one in here. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little one down here. Like that. Okay, okay, all right, ta-da, ta-da. And then I'm going to put another little one in here. Like that. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Sorry, I have to be really quiet when I'm playing with butterflies. They're skittish. Okay, there we go. All right, and there's your card. So let's make us a little envelope. Oh, Gina, 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 Gina. The first is much clearer. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do it that way than the second way. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp a few flowers. We're going to do a few flowers here, not with that color, with this color. And let's see, I think we're going to use a number 1. Number 1, number 1. Make sure that's the one I want. Yes. And I'm going to put it over here. Turn and use the other fill, stamp it off once. Like that. And then we're going to do the Calypso Coral one. Thank you. I know, Cheryl, they're so perfect. They really are beautiful. They're great embellishments. I love them very, very much. You know I like to use a lot of embellishments, so the fact that they're thin makes it really good so that I can just go crazy with them. I may or may not have like 5 packs sitting back ready to be used. All right, and then we're using the Petal Pink as our fill there. And we'll put in a few little stems. Stems. Oh, stems. Stems. Come stems. Here we go, stems. I need my stems. I need my stems. And we'll just do like that. You can use either end as the top. Just depends on the look you're looking for. Like that. And then where's my little fill guy? Here, fill guy. Here, fill guy. There. And we need our little flower center. What kind of puppies? Puppies, Charlotte? Love puppies? Who's got puppies? I didn't see the puppies. Yes, what kind of puppies? We love puppies. Inquiring minds want to know what kind of 7 puppies. What did you have 7 of? And we'll do our little flower middle right there. And our envelope flap is going to have the more exuberant tulip paper. Definitely time for a new bottle of glue to come out. All right. You guys, can you even believe, I know this is hard to believe, but it is the 18th, like the 18th, the 19th of January. That means there's only 5 weeks of celebration left, which means only 5 weeks to join and get 2 free stamp sets, to shop and earn free celebration products, or to host and get the Calming Camellia. So let me know if I can help you. I'd really like you guys to be on my team. Anybody who's not a demonstrator, come on down, man. Let's do it. There's no obligation. We do have a pretty darn good time, I'm just saying. And 2 free stamp sets on top of your starter kit, which is also an already amazing deal, right? It's already an amazing deal. But it all ends the 28th of January. All right, so there we go. Pyrenees, not so good. Oh, Great Pyrenees, nicely. Nice. Pyrenees and Pitbull. Now that's an interesting combination. I bet they are adorable. I'm guessing they are adorable. All right, so there we go. 2 cards with a slightly different way of making each one. You know what? Look what I didn't do. I did not put my little flower middle in my sample, which I should fix immediately before I take pictures. Where are you, little flower middle? Here you are. There we go. There we go. There we go. All righty. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I appreciate you spending part of your day with me. Sorry for it being 40 long minutes. And I hope you will make this card. So see you on Saturday for my Facebook Live video. And enjoy the rest of your week, y'all. See ya. Ta.